Hello and welcome to Tuesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where we're going to be having a look at a puzzle by Nicolas Duhail today called Vicissitudes. And this puzzle has been recommended to us so fulsomely. We've had two people suggesting this is the puzzle of the year, which is high praise indeed. And I have to say, I've read the rules before I turn on the webcam. The concept behind this is stunning, actually, and it's a yin-yang puzzle today. Don't worry if you don't know what a yin-yang puzzle is. We'll talk that through. But it's a yin-yang puzzle where the pattern of the yin-yang will effectively mean this enormous loop in the grid is like a region sum line, according to the shading of the yin-yang. It's a beautiful idea, absolutely beautiful. And as I say, two people, well, we've had more than two recommendations, but two of the recommendations have said that this is their puzzle of the year. So I think we're in for something absolutely brilliant today. I'm looking forward to having a go at it. I'm intrigued that it's possible for this to exist, actually. And it looks like a vulture to me. Does it look like a vulture? Is this a vulture's head? I don't know what that is, some strange twig or something. But anyway, vicissitudes indeed. We'll have a read of the rules in a moment or two's time. Now, what do I have to tell you about before that? Let me think. We were back in the Blueprints mansion last night. I will give no spoilers. I will simply say the VOD is available. If you did miss the stream, we missed you. And you can watch what happened, hopefully on that link right there. Other news, we're closing in on the closing date of this month's competition, which is our Spider-Man themed Sudoku hunt over on Patreon. Shall we see what the state of play is? Let's have a look. How many solves we've had? 708 was the count. 761 now. 761. So the closing date's tomorrow. If you haven't started yet, yeah, you will get through. There's only 8 puzzles to solve. But you probably need to get cracking soon. Oh no, the weather's turned. It's been lovely here today. It's almost like April weather. It's very showery, but yeah, it's suddenly gone grey. I feel like we might get some rain any moment, but that'll just mean that the room goes dark because I haven't got my light on. Anyway, yeah, do check out what's going on over on Patreon. There's a lot of fun to be had over there. Lots and lots of extra content, be it videos or puzzles. Yeah, it keeps the channel going. I mean, there's no other way to put it. So thank you to all those of you who support us over on Patreon. It's a couple of bucks a month. Now, birthdays. Let's look at my list of birthdays to do. Oh, I'm late with this one, but in my defence, I had to record yesterday's video really early because I was scoring in the US Open golf qualifier at Walton Heath. I scored for a guy called Matthew Jordan, who his golf was unbelievable. He shot 64 on the old course at Walton Heath. Now, some of you, if you're golfers, will realise how good that is. Off the very back tees in a fairly strong wind. I mean, it was just awesome. But anyway, that meant that this request for Nathan's birthday yesterday, it didn't arrive in time to make yesterday's video. So I'm so sorry I missed it. Nathan, your wife Kate wrote to me and told me that you find my chanting of numbers soothing. That's a lovely thing to say, chanting of numbers. And I know you've been listening every night for years. So Nathan, thank you for doing that. I hope you had a great birthday yesterday. And yeah, many happy returns. I hope the chocolate cake was very well iced. Next. Oh yes, this is for an actual birthday, as in a birth. Grant, you've just been born. I don't think this message will mean much to you, but to your parents, Andrew and Katie, it might mean something. And I'm thrilled to hear. I'm thrilled whenever we hear about a potential new member of the Cracking the Cryptic community. And Grant, I doubt there'll be any chocolate cake just yet. Maybe this time next year, you never know. But I welcome you to the world, and I congratulate heartily Andrew and Katie on your arrival. Luna, Luna, you've turned 38 today, and I know this because your partner, now I'm going to mispronounce this, I think is it Zyodine? Zyodine wrote to me, and Luna's been watching for years and has recently got Zyodine into the rat run puzzles. I think there will be a new rat run tomorrow, although I'm meant to be on an aeroplane tomorrow. So I'm not sure I'll be able to, well, I know I won't be able to cover that rat run puzzle for a few days. But do not worry, Cracking the Cryptic videos will continue. We make sure of that. And then this is right. This is actually Madison. Madison, you're turning 27 tomorrow, I think. I know this because your girlfriend Gemma wrote to me and told me that you are obsessed with Sudoku puzzles. A good man. I'm delighted to hear that. Madison, many happy returns for tomorrow. I hope there is a very heavily iced chocolate cake awaiting you. And that's all the news, I think. Shall we have a go at this puzzle? Looking forward to this. Vicissitudes by Nicolas Duhail. The rules of this one are as follows. We have got normal Sudoku rules applying. So we're going to have to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Then we have to shade some cells so that all shaded cells are orthogonally connected and all unshaded cells are orthogonally connected. And no 2x2 area may be completely shaded or unshaded. So this is sometimes called a yin-yang rule. And I will draw the shape that I normally draw to indicate a valid yin-yang pattern. This one. Other shapes are available. And why is this valid? Well, you can see that you can trace through the entire pattern of greens in the grid just by moving to other green cells that share an edge. So these greens are all orthogonally connected, which means we can move from one to the other in a north, south, east or west direction. There's no diagonal connectivity required. So for example, if we tried to make this cell green, this is broken now because this green only connects to these two greens at a vertex, and that's not sufficient for orthogonal connection. So don't do that, you'll get the puzzle wrong. And also the same is true for the purples, and if we look at any particular 2x2 anywhere in this grid, it will have both colours in it, and that's essential as well. Now there's only one more rule. Yeah, there's no scrolling. There is only one more rule. The shading, in fact, let's go back. The shading splits the line into segments with equal sums. Digits may not repeat within a segment. So, I can instantly see that this is wrong. This is definitely not the shading we're looking for, because what that would imply is that this cell, if you look at the line, this is a one-cell segment, isn't it? And this is a one-cell segment. It's got green on that side of it and green on this. So those should be the same sum, and they can't be. So let's try and find a more reasonable... I don't know. I mean, this is so wrong. Let's get rid of the shading. Let's get rid of the shading. So let's try and say... Let's say the shading did... that. So if the shading did this, then what we'd be saying, let's make that purple, these three sum to the same as those two, sum to the same as those two, sum to the same as those three. That's what we would be saying. We don't obviously know what that total is. That's something we're going to have to discover. I mean, but if we just stop there, if we just pause before we even start to consider it, or not at least consider it properly, it's a pretty amazing idea that you can just draw a vulture in a Sudoku grid, give it that rule set, and then somehow this is all going to resolve. Anyway, do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, I mean, I don't know what to do. So what I'll do instead of actually doing anything intelligent is I will tell you some secrets about this yin-yang shading that we're going to have to perform in this puzzle. I know two secrets about yin-yang. The first is that in this grid there will not be in any 2x2 this pattern, because this checkerboard pattern within a 2x2 will result in the rules being disobeyed. Now, the way to see that is that we have to connect the purples together orthogonally somehow. And hopefully you can see that however I do that, whatever complicated route I take to achieve that connection, I will empuddle, if that's a word, which it almost certainly isn't. I will empuddle one of the greens, because I'll loop round one of the greens, and then that green won't be able to get to the other green without crossing the purple. So you could never achieve an orthogonal connection of the greens. So no checkerboards. Now that leads to a principle that is often the key to these yin-yang puzzles, which is about the perimeter of a yin-yang puzzle. Now the perimeter of a yin-yang puzzle can be entirely one colour. That's fine. Or we can introduce the other colour. That's also fine. But if we've got two contiguous strings of colour like this around the perimeter, what we cannot do is introduce a new change of colour. Because in doing that, we can then sort of imagine the grid is a bit like a checkerboard. We know this purple stretch here will have to connect to this purple stretch somehow. And however we do that, it must be the case that there will be a wall of purple through the grid. And this wall of purple will prevent these greens from making an orthogonal connection. So the perimeter of any yin-yang puzzle will be either one colour or there'll be a stretch of colour and then a stretch of the other colour. But that's it. It cannot be more complicated than that. So I think we're going to have to look here probably. Just because this looks like part of the vulture that's incredibly cluttered, doesn't it? Every single cell of this box is taken up with the vulture. I'm wondering if the secret's going to be relevant. This is a different secret, but this is the secret of Sudoku. So I just mentioned that as well. I share it with my very favourite people, which of course, if you're watching this video, you're one of my favourite people. The secret of Sudoku is that any complete row, any complete column, or indeed any complete box of a Sudoku, by the rules of Sudoku, will contain the digits 1 to 9 once each. Now, if you sum the digits 1 to 9, what do you get? 45. That's the secret. So I'm wondering whether, is there a reason that our vulture has to be split into sort of factors of 45 or something like that? So 15 segments would be don't actually know how to think about this at all. Is it going... Right, let's try and do this a different way, because I can't see how to even approach that. Maybe we can just disprove that. Maybe we can disprove that the entire perimeter is one colour. Yes, I can disprove that. That's actually fairly straightforward to disprove. I don't think this is going to take us forward very far. But imagine this was the situation and we tried to make all of the perimeter one colour. Then we could use the fact that we can't have a 2x2 here or here. These two would be single cell segments, mavericks taken off, even in the bad weather. And those would have to have the same digit, wouldn't they? Because whatever the sum is for all these segments, that's clearly a single segment. That's a single segment. So if they contain the digit 6, they should both be a 6, and that will break Sudoku. So we can fairly trivially say that there is a break in the perimeter, i.e. there are two colours in the perimeter. You know, I can see things like if there is no break of colour in those cells, so if all of these were in the same colour, that's quite a long segment, isn't it? Especially as you can't repeat a digit in a segment. that would be at least a 15 sum if we populate those with the minimum we can. Which would mean you couldn't have... So if all of these are the same colour, no segment can be one cell. And that was a problem up here, wasn't it? With those two were one cell. So those two are one cell segments if those... yeah, okay, hang on. So what I'm saying now is that if that is a single segment, i.e. all the same colour, then that is not a single segment. Because I know that if these were in the same colour, well, unless I go... No, it wouldn't work. I think... I don't quite know how to articulate this. I feel like these two are a problem. But they might not be, because this might not be a single coloured segment. It feels like that's difficult to me, because it's going to make that a single segment. And if that's a single segment... Yeah, the same is true down there, isn't it? I think it's something to do, and I haven't got it and I don't understand it, but it's something to do with how much of the perimeter is going to be difficult to fill if you can't... I'm not sure whether it's if you can't have a single segment or you can have a single segment. I'm not sure which of those is going to be particularly a problem. Look at what I'm seeing down there is that those 4 cells, if they were all the same colour, again, the minimum they could add up to would be 10, which again would preclude a single cell segment. So if there are... So maybe we can... All right, let's change the ordering then. So we can say if a single cell segment is possible in this puzzle, then the 2 changes of colour in the perimeter would be in that segment and this segment. And they can't be more than that, can there? So there would be a change of colour here and a change of colour here, if a single cell segment was possible. But the problem with that is that doesn't work. Right, this is, and I'm not 100% sure what I'm saying there is true. I think it's true. Maybe a different way to articulate that would be like this. If the size of the segments we're looking for in terms of value terms is not a double-digit number, so it's a number from 1 to 9, that's the size of the segments we're trying to build. Not the number of cells in a segment, the actual value of an overall segment, the sum of the cells in any segment. If it is a number from 1 to 9, then there would be a break here, and there would be a break here. Now, what would that do to the remainder of the perimeter? If there's a break of colour here and a break of colour here, then we know that the edges of these would be different colours, wouldn't they? So let's make this purple and this green, and we'd have to achieve the same thing in that 4-cell segment. Now, what we can't do then is have them that way round, because now this purple, to connect to this purple, however it did it, it would isolate these greens from one another. So it would have to be the other way round. And this is going to be a problem, I think. It would have to be this way round, and that's fine in theory, but remember now that that we can't have any more changes of color in the perimeter. So all of those become the same. And that won't work, because now, to avoid a 2 by 2, that's green. To avoid this 2 by 2, that's green. And although we have allowed the existence of a single cell segment, what we can't do is break Sudoku with that segment. And these would have the same value, and they would break Sudoku. So somebody on Logic Masters says this was 3 stars. Is it? I've got nothing in the grid, and all I've been able to conclude is... Right, okay, so what we've concluded there is it's not possible for the segment size in this puzzle to have a single digit value. So now does that mean I don't know if it does or not. What I'd love to be able to conclude, and I'm not sure I can, is that so if those were all the same color. Yeah, I mean, I can conclude that. No, hang on then. Oh yeah, no, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Right, this is it. This is it. So, having concluded that a single cell segment is impossible, is it possible that both of those are the same color? This one and this one on the perimeter. We'd have to think about how these join up round the perimeter, wouldn't we? Because we know they must. Now, if they join like that, that's not going to work, because now this is a single cell segment. And if they join round the other way, then this isn't going to work, because that's a single cell segment. So that is impossible. So these are not the same colour. And therefore, there is a change of colour between this cell on the perimeter and this cell on the perimeter. But that logic is exactly the same for these two cells. If if these were the same colour, that will create a single cell segment, or if we connected them around the other way, that would create a single cell segment here, which we've already shown is impossible anyway. So these are different colours as well. Now we can apply exactly the same logic we did down here. So that's going to have to be purple and that's going to have to be green. Otherwise we would isolate. If this was green and this was purple, connect the purples together, we'll create a wall, and the greens couldn't connect. So it's like this, and now we can join those up. And much more interesting, we can connect the greens around the edge. So that is forced. And that is actually exceptionally beautiful. Now, that cell can't be green, because that would be a single cell segment. And I've worked out, well, that's more than impossible now, because look at the bottom of the vulture. I've got a 5-cell segment, I've got a 4-cell segment. So we know that the segment lengths, or the segment value that we're heading up towards, because they've all got equal sum, is actually at least 15 now. Because even if I populate those with the minimum, they would be it's 15. So that can't be, we can't write 15 into that cell. So that's got to be purple. Now avoid a 2 by 2 in those two. Now, these two, we avoid 2 by 2s. This one has to extend, because if it didn't, if that was green, again I'd have to write at least 15 into this cell, which I can't do. Okay, that's useful, because now we've capped out the maximum size of the segment. Because this segment is a 2-cell segment. How did you set this, by the way, Nicholas? Nicholas is absolutely remarkable. If you look at Nicholas, every single day, Nicholas seems to come up with a new puzzle, and they all get rated incredibly highly. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting digressing. Right. But the thing I'm thinking now is this is a 2-cell segment, so we could fill it with 9, 8 as a maximum, which is 17. And so we know that the segment size we're looking for is at least 15, and we know it's a maximum of 17, so we know it's 15, 16, or 17. Which, right. If this cell here isn't green, that's a 1-cell segment, which we've just said we can't do, so that's also purple to avoid a 2 by 2. Right, here's a nice point. We've just capped out the maximum segment size at 17, so this 5-cell sequence can't go any further, because if it did, if we added another green in, given that we can't repeat a digit in a segment, but the triangular number for 6 is 21, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 is 21, it's too much. So both of those have to be purple. And this purple has to be at least 2 cells, and that's got to be green to avoid a 2 by 2, and that's got to be green to avoid a checkerboard. So this segment is at least 3 cells now. And this segment is only one cell at the moment, so that's got to grow a little bit. Maybe a lot, but at least there. This would be a 1-cell segment if it was purple, so that's got to be green. So this has got to be purple. This is just wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. Now, ooh, boom, yeah, wow, that cell can't be purple, because if it is, we can't have a 1-cell segment, so it would have to extend. And that would be a 2 by 2 of purple, so that's got to be green. Now I've got a 5 cells of green here, so I can't make it a 6-celler, or we'd be on triangular number 21 again, so that's got to be purple. We know purple's got to go at least 2 cells. Whenever we get a new segment, we can always build it at least 2 cells. Now that's got to be purple to avoid a 2 by 2 here. This is magnificent. It's absolutely magnificent. Now, what do you think we do next? This thing at the top of the vulture, is 5 cells. So that can't extend. So both that one and that one have to be green. That one looks better. This is huge. Look at this one. Avoid a 2 by 2, and that's a purple on the perimeter, so it must connect to the other purples on the perimeter. And this is green. So this can't be green, because then we connect the greens on the perimeter, and that would create a 2 by 2 of greens. So that's got to be purple. What about that one? Could that be green? Then that would be purple. That would be purple. That would be purple. Is that all right or not? No idea. This one can't be purple, because again it would have to extend to be at least a 2-cell segment, and then I'd have a problem. So this has got to be purple to avoid a 2 by 2 there. And okay, stuck now. This is a 3-cell segment, so it could extend. This one is at least a 2, so it could extend. What about that one? Can we get that one? If that was purple, this would be green. Or this one, if that one was... Oh, 1, 2, 3... I can do that one. That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. can't have a length 6 segment, so that's purple. So now this segment, oh, that's still only a length 3 segment actually below that length. There's a length 5 segment here, and then a length 3 segment, and then a length 5 segment, then a length 2 or 3 or 4 segment. If this was green, it would have to extend. So 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's okay. That would be a 5 cell segment. Okay. Oh, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do now. This is at the moment it's 1 cell, so it's got to extend in some direction or both directions. If it did extend there, then you'd have to avoid checkerboards in this box, so actually you'd take all of those as green. Now, is that a problem? I don't know, actually. If that one's purple, this would be green. But you could have 5 cells of green here, couldn't you, I think? Okay, maybe it's the perimeter. Can I get that cell? If that's green, then I've got to double purple those, triple purple those. That doesn't work. Right. Golly, that is not easy to see. If this is not green, it's going to be both of those are going to be purple then. If this is green, the problem, I'll trace it through and then we'll sketch it in with colour, but sometimes it helps to try to visualise it. If this is green, this has got to be purple to avoid a 2 by 2, so we go purple here. Now this segment can't be 1 cell of purple only, so we have to extend here. So both of these are purple now. Now we must avoid a checkerboard, so this is also purple. So we get 3 purples here, but this has to avoid being a 2 by 2, so that's green. So we get these 3 purples here, and this segment has to extend to here. And what that's going to mean is all 3 of those are purple, and that's going to trap in this green, which it can't do. All the greens have to orthogonally connect. So let's put that in now so that we can see how it would look. So green, purple, purple, avoid checkerboard, avoid 2 by 2, and this, you can't do anything with this. It needs to extend from the perspective of its segment, but it can't extend because this green needs to get out. So this cell is actually purple, which allows us to complete the whole perimeter, and we must avoid a checkerboard there. So that's actually a green cell. And well, now this cell can't be purple because it would be a 1 cell of purple. So that's got to be green. This has got to be purple. Avoid a checkerboard. That's got to be purple. I've now got 2 cells of purple on that segment and 5 cells of green on this segment. So that must stop because otherwise we'd have the 21 problem. Now this can't be a 1 cell segment, so that extends. This green has to get out, so that extends. This has to go there to avoid a 2 by 2, avoid a checkerboard there, avoid a 2 by 2 here, avoid a checkerboard there, avoid a 2 by, oh please don't break. That green has to touch its friends, and that's got to avoid a checkerboard. That's extraordinary, isn't it? So now we've actually got a lot. Oh, this I can do more. Avoid a 2 by 2. That's got to be green. Avoid a checkerboard. That's got to be green. I've got right. So there's a 2 cell segment there. There's a 2 cell segment here, but that could extend. And oh, this purple hasn't touched the other purples yet. It could do that if that's purple. Or if this is purple. 2, 3. Is there... I'm having difficulty actually just from a scanning perspective, looking at the grid and going, oh, that one's a length, that's actually a length 3 segment. I wonder if I can, let's try and draw that in. If we do that, it might go there. The one beneath it, let's use a different colour. So that is a length 3 segment. Okay, then we go back the other way to red. That is a length 5 segment. And then we've got another, and we've got a length 2 segment. And then we don't know again. Depends what this one is, doesn't it? Not sure. But then we're going to go back blue again. So that's a segment, but it might go there. Then we'll go back red again. So that's a segment. Then we've got another blue again. Then we've got red again. And we've got blue again. Then we've got red again. Oh, no, no, no. Bad, Simon. Okay, then we've got another short blue. There's very few short blues or short segments full stop. That might be another one there. Let's put that in, but that could extend. Now, does that help us to see anything? I don't know, actually. I might not have done anything. It's made it more colourful. Right. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That doesn't write. I do now know the sum actually. From the bottom row. Look at the bottom row. The segment sum that we're heading towards is made up of this sum, whatever that is, and this sum, whatever that is. Now, they're 5-cell sequences. So could the segment sum that we're looking for in this puzzle be 15? No, because 15 is the only way of making up the number 15 with 5 different Sudoku digits is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I fill those cells with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the bottom row has 6 cells selected. One way to see it is you can't put 6, 7, 8, and 9 in the bottom row. But you've got exactly the same problem if the segment sum is 16. Because how do you make up 16 in 5 different numbers in Sudoku? There's only one way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. And again, that's the same problem. Just different digits. You've now got a big problem within the bottom row. 5, 7, 8, and 9 can't fit. And you would repeat a digit in those ones I've pencil marked. So it can't be 16 either. But we know it can't be more than 17 because we can't make a domino add up to more than 17. So I think it has to be 17. And that has to be 17 as well. Everything that's 2 cells has to be 17. And that gets us out of a pickle in the bottom row because there's more than one way of making 5 different Sudoku numbers add up to 17. You can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 or 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. So there are 2 ways to do it. Right, but what you can't do ever is use 8 and 9. So those have to be 8 and 9 in the bottom row, just because we can't put these digits. They can't go in their own box, and they can't go on this thing that's adding up to 17. So 8 and 9 are in those 3 cells. Can we put it here? Well, that's a 3-cell segment. Oh, hang on. I've seen something different I want to do. Might be able to be there. But 17 is beautiful in dominoes because it's only an 8-9 pair. So could this be a domino adding up to 17? No, because it would be an 8-9 pair, and then we'd have 3 of those in this. How did you make this? So that's extending, which means we can redify that digit. Now, that now is purple to avoid a 2 by 2. Oh, that's weird, isn't it? That doesn't actually help us. Oh, it does a bit. It does a bit. This cell can't be green because it would be a 1-cell segment, so that's purple. So this is green to avoid a 2 by 2. That green's to avoid a checkerboard. That's got to get out. This can't be purple. It would be a 1-cell segment. That's got to be purple to avoid a 2 by 2, and then somehow that's got to get coloured. And we can colour that, because that U pentomino of purplification hasn't touched its friends. So let's make it do that. And we've now, let's double click. It's beautiful. We've changed the vulture into a hanging garden. And we can extend our colorings, our segment lengths. This one is red, and that's, oh no, I've broken it. 2, 3. Oh no, sorry, I thought that was 6-cell segment, but it's not. 1, 2, 3. No, it's okay. We're okay. That's a 5-cell segment. 1, 2. That's also a 5-cell. So some of these segments look like they're too long. This blue one has to get longer. Right, let's just double check. Have I missed out any digits along these segments? Or any cells, more likely? Don't think so. So there's actually a remarkable number of 5-cell segments, which are all going to be either 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 or 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. So, oh, goodness knows what that means. I don't know what that means. I've put all the 2-cell segments in. Oh, sorry, I can't. So hang on, where do I put 8 and 9 in the middle box? I can't put them in there, and I can't put them on a 5-cell. Oh, that's it, that's easy enough. Where are 8 and 9 in box 5? I've got this 8-9 pair in column 5, so they aren't there, and they can't go on the 5-cell segment, so I think they go into those 2 cells. Now, what does that mean? These 2 cells add up to 11 because of the secret. We know the whole box adds up to 45. I've got 17 in those 2, and on this line that's a 17 segment, so that's 34. So these 2 must take up the gap and add up to 11 to get to 45, and they can't be 2, 9 or 3, 8, so these are 4, 7 or 5, 6. So this line has got at least 12 on it now. If that was 8, 4, that would be 12. So this line, these 2 digits add up to a maximum of 5. So they can't be more than 4. Now, can that be... That can't be 7, actually. If this is 7, 7 plus 8 is 15, and I can't make both of those add up to 2. So that's not 7, so that's not 4. Because we know they added up to 11. And if this is 6, this would have to go 6, 8, 1, 2. I'll come back to the question again. How did you set this? How did you do that? Those 2 add up to 11. That's exactly the same logic. There's a 5-cell segment and an 8-9 pair. So those have to take up the balance and be 4, 7 or 5, 6. So Don't know what that means. Yeah, maybe it's something to do with how you get the 11s on all of these. Or maybe it's 1s, 2s, and 3s, actually. Because a 17 segment in 5 cells always has to have 1, 2, and 3 on it. You can see that by thinking about what if we miss out the 3? 1 plus 2 plus 4, 5, 6 would be the minimum, which is 18. So that digit is 4, 5, 6, or 7. Because that digit sees the whole of this sort of antler's head at the top. And we know that 1, 2, and 3 must be on that antler's head. And 8, 9 are in there. So that's got to be some part of some. Yeah, that's got to be part of something that adds up to 11 with another digit that isn't those two digits, because they add up to 11. And that's part of the other pair of digits that add up to 11. Oh. Well, that's really interesting. Don't mock me. I'm not an interesting guy. But I think I know that those two digits have to be on this antler. This is a bit weird, but we know every antler, every 5-cell sequence in this puzzle contains the digits 1, 2, and 3 and a pair that add up to 11. Now, because this digit, whatever it is, whatever pair that adds up to 11, 4, 7, or 5, 6, it is from, can't be on this antler, the other pair must be. But the other pair is that pair. Because we know these add up to 11 and they don't include that digit. So this antler has those two digits on it. And so this digit is 1, 2, or 3, because we know it's not. It's not from the 11 pair that must be existing on the antler. So it must be one of the other digits. That's got to be a 1, 2, or a 3. And that digit, I mean, you can see it's obvious from Sudoku, but that digit is part of the 11 pair on this line. So they add up to 11. Oh, Simon. Right. We worked out earlier that the flavour of this can't be the same as the flavour of that. What I mean by that is that the way that this adds up to 17 can't be the same as the way this adds up to 17, because then those 5 digits would appear 6 times in row 9. So the flavour of this is different from the flavour of this. So the 2 digits that add up to 11 on this one are different from the 2 digits that add up to 11 on this one. But those 2 digits add up to 11. So these 2 digits are the ones that appear on this one. And that one has to appear on this one, therefore. So that digit is the same as that digit by Sudoku. And that digit is in one of those 4 positions. Right, and the reason that's interesting is that we know that this L pentomino of greenliness here has 1, 2, and 3 on it, because all the 5-cell segments have 1, 2, and 3 on them. So there's a 1, 2, 3 triple in those 4 cells. Well, where's the 1, 2, 3 triple on this U pentomino? It's got to be there. That's got to be 1, 2, and 3. So these 2 digits are, they're either 4, 7, or 5, 6. But they add up to 11. Now, don't know. I'm not sure. if that one, if those two that add up to 11 are the same as the ones on that one that add up to 11, those would have to be. So where would you put this 11 sum on this line, this sort of shepherd's crook line? They'd have to go in those two by Sudoku, but now we know those two add up to 11, so that would be. So these would be the same as those. Which, oh, does that work? You've got to be very careful with that. So that, yeah, that might work. That might work, but you would have to be careful with the ordering of these. What do I mean? This one couldn't be the same as that one, I think. Because if this one and this one were the same, where would you put that digit in this box, given you can't repeat a digit on a segment? It couldn't go there by Sudoku, couldn't go there by Sudoku. It's appeared on this segment, so it couldn't go there. It's appeared on that segment, so it couldn't go there. So if the shepherd's crook is the same as these two, then that one is the same as that one, and that one is the same as those ones, and so that one, that doesn't work. Ah, no, it does. No, hang on, it does. No, it doesn't. It just doesn't. No, it doesn't work. No, there's something wrong. There's something wrong with this. It doesn't work, I don't think. Okay, I'm going to change slightly how I'm going to do this. So what I'm trying to prove is whether or not this 11 sum is the same as this 11 sum. And I think I've proved that if these are the same, these two digits can't be the same, because then you couldn't put that digit in this box. So I'm going to just change the colour of this one from yellow to orange. And then we're going to discriminate between these digits up here. So we've said that in order for this shepherd's crook to contain this 11 sum, these would then be those digits as well. And these couldn't be the same. So this stays yellow, that one becomes orange, which means this becomes yellow. So these yellows are all the same. But it doesn't work in this box. The reason it doesn't work is, where do we put yellow in box 8? Yellow can't repeat on its own line. And it can't go here, because this line is not allowed to contain this pair. No, it is. No, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Forget that. That is exactly the pair. So yellow would go there. I got it wrong. It's that pair that can't go on this line. That one, yeah, that would be orange, wouldn't it? So it does work. It does work. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work for a different reason. It doesn't work for a different reason. Good grief. Right. No, this doesn't work. Right, we've proved that for this to work, this is the pattern. Now, why doesn't this work? Can you see it? It's to do with the numbers now. Because now orange in this box, we've got to find a location for it. Where does it go? Well, we know it by Sudoku, it doesn't go there, it can't repeat on its segment, and it can't go in its own row, so it goes there. Which means that we're looking for a digit that overlaps between 1, 2, 3, 4 and 4, 5, 6, 7, which is 4. So the orange is 4. Well, what's yellow then? Yellow's meant to be 7 to add up to 11, and yellow can't be 7, because if yellow was 7, we took this out months ago. If yellow was 7, this pair adds up to too much it puts too much of a low burden on this domino. This domino can't be low enough. So what that means is, I think this might have been a fool's errand actually, but I'm going to try to tell if we can do something with this. Because what we've actually just proved is that the shepherd's crook doesn't contain those digits. It contains these two digits, which is all very well. Okay, so those two are the same as these two. Okay, so that might do something. So those two are the same as these two, because we've just proved that the shepherd's crook contains a pair that adds up to 11 that are the same as these two. And one of those is that digit, because that is not a 1, 2, or a 3. So those two are the same, because they add up to 11. And now in this box, what on earth does that mean? Can we... Well, obviously, if either... So yellow is in some portion of those cells. The two yellows are in these cells. And obviously, if yellow is over here, yellow is a 4, 7 pair, because that's the only valid digit. But if yellow is not over there, these add up to 11. So they are... So they're always 4, 7. That's bizarre logic. That is bizarre logic. Right. This is huge. Okay, so we're going to continue with this thought experiment. What happens? Where's yellow in this box? The answer is we don't know, ab initio, but we've got one of 4. We've got 2 of these 4 places for the 2 yellow digits. Now, obviously, if yellow is over here in this domino, the only digit that's coincident is 4, which makes this a 4, 7 pair. But if yellow is not in there, then yellow would have to be in both of these cells, which means these cells add up to 11. So what's this digit? This digit, that segment, that red segment, is meant to add to 17. So if they add up to 11, this is a 6, which you can't now repeat on this segment, which adds up to 11. So it can't be a 5, 6 pair. It has to be a 4, 7 pair. So even though we don't know whether yellow goes in here or not, we know that yellow is a 4, 7 pair. And so we know this is a 4, 7 pair, which means we know this is not a 4, 7 pair. So this is 5, 6, which means this is 5, 6. It means this, well, right, this is good, because now we've worked out this is a 4, 7 pair, which has to go that way round. And now what does that mean? It probably means a lot of things, actually. Oh, we can't repeat 4 on that segment. So this is 4. If this is an 8, 12, we'd need 5 more. So that would be a 2, 3 pair. If this is a 9, don't tell me it's a 1, 3 pair, isn't it? Yes, it is. So it's always got a 3 in this segment. This cell can't be a 5. Because if it was a 5, these 2 digits would be supposed to add to 12, and there's no way to do it. You couldn't use 9, 3, you couldn't use 8, 4, and you couldn't repeat the 5 to use 5, 7, so that's got to be 6, which makes that 5. So these 2 cells add up to... So they do add up. Oh, I see. So they are just 4, 7. Once we got 4 off here, that's where we have to put yellow in this box. So we could have done that in a different order. What's this? Those 2 digits add up to 12. They've got to be 3, 9. Because they can't be 4, 8, and they can't be 5, 7 without repeating a digit on the segment. So that gives us this digit is an 8. That digit's a 9. 9, 8. 9, 8. This is not 4 or 7. So this is 5, 6, which, remember, that means this top one, this antler at the top, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. I mean, it's an appalling pencil mark. You'll have to forgive me for that, but it is true. That's a low digit, though. Where are 4 and 7 in box 2? They're a pair, right at the top of the grid. So that digit's in one of those two cells. I don't know which one. I would like to know which one. Okay. This is 3, 9. These digits. Oh, that's a 6. So that's a 6. We had to put a 6 on this line. So these are 1, 2, 3, and 5 along the bottom of the grid. We know that there's a 3 in. Oh, wait. That's 12 now. So these have to be. They have to add up to 5. So that's a 2, 3 pair. And these digits are 1, 5, or 6. There's a 1, 5, 6 triple in the column. So the central digit of the puzzle is 2 or 3, I think. How long have I been going for? Yeah, I've been going over an hour. How can that be? I've only just started. No, that does. Oh, 4. This is interesting, actually. Where's 4? This line here, the shepherd's crook, has a 4 on it because it's got 7 on it. Well, that 4 isn't here. So there's a 4 in one of those, which takes 4 out of there. But that means this digit on the shepherd's crook is a 1, 2, or a 3. So this is a 1, 2, 3 triple. And now this cell is a 5 or a 6 by Sudoku. And now this line, I don't really know what's that sort of. Is that like a very strange pot that you might hold in the kitchen? I don't know. But that's got 5, 6 on it now. So this is a 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 line. And that's a 1, 2, or a 3, therefore, because it is C's 5 and 6. Oh, nearly. I was going to say, where's 3 on this line, the shepherd's crook? Because it can't be in these cells, so it's one of those two. Oh. Where's 8 in this column? Remember, we can never put 8s and 9s on any of the 5-digit segments. This has been available forever. I just didn't see this at all. That's 8, therefore. That's 9. That's 9. That's 3. I'm sorry if you've been annoyed with me about that. I didn't spot that at all. So this has got 4 on it. Yes, where's 7 in this column? It's only got one place it can go. At the top, it can't repeat on this segment. So that's 7. That's 7. That's 4 now. So 7 is in one of these 3. If we could get it onto this line, we'd know this line was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 line. Okay. Don't know what to do. I'm trying to see. No, I don't know what to do. Okay. No, I've got nothing. This is terrible, isn't it? I've just suddenly ground to a halt. These digits are 1, 2, 3, and 4. I mean, it's a bad pencil mark. I know 3 isn't there. Do we get to know what that 3-cell segment is? Does it have to be 4, 6, 7 like that one? If it doesn't have 8 on it, if it doesn't have 8 or 9 on it, how would you get to 17? It would have to be 7, 6, 4. That is the only way. But it could have 8 on it, and if it's got 8 on it, it needs 2 more digits that add to 9, which could be 4, 5, or 2, 7. I don't know then. I'm not sure we can tell that. Ah, that can't be a 5, look. By Sudoku. And 9 has to be in one of those. 9 can't go on a 5-cell segment, so 9's in this stuff. Could well be on this line. It could well be. What about 8 and 9 in box 1? They can never go on one of these strange segments, so they're in those cells. 9 can't be in that one. No, that's not what we're meant to do, is it? Why is my phone buzzing at me? Oh, hang on. Hang on, let me just read the whole of this message. Okay. Can't deal with that yet. Right, let's get your head back in the game. That can't be 6. Ah. Oh. So where's 6 in this box? That's been available forever. So that's 6, that's 5, that's 1, that's 5. Oh dear, sorry about that. Didn't spot any of that. But that's now a 6. So these digits, oh, this has got to be a 4. Because the digits on the strange shaped pan that we've got left to place are 1, 2, 3, 5. That makes that a 4. So I get a 1, 2 pair. That's a 3 above it. That's a 3 there. This is a 2. That's a 3. This done loads, this stuff down here. This is not a 2 anymore. Sudoku. Can't repeat a digit on a thingy. You can't repeat a digit on a thingy, so the shepherd's crook has had a 1 on it, so that's got to be a 3. That's a 1. That's a 3. Now, where is 3 on the lightning, on the Harry Potter symbol here? It's got to be on it somewhere. It's got to be there. Let's see if we can do... Oh, where's 3 in box 9? It's got exactly one place it can live. Right, here's a nice point. Where is 2 on the Harry Potter line? And we actually know, because 2 in this box by Sudoku is in one of those 2 cells. So and we know it appears on all of the 5-cell segments, so it's only got one place to go, which is there, which means this is a 1 in the corner, this is a 2, that bounces back to the top and we get the 2, and we haven't put 6, 8 and 9 into the top row, which is very... that is a 6, 8, 9 triple, by the way, in this box. So those digits, do we know the 11 pair that live on this line? Is it 5, 6 or is it 4, 7? If it was 4, 7, this would be 4. Actually, let's just think about that. If it was 4, 7, that would have to be the 4, that would have to be the 1, and that would have to be the 7. Now, if it was 5, 6, the 6 would have to go here. The 1 would have to go here. And the 5 would have to go there. That's that's absolutely extraordinary. That doesn't seem to resolve at all. Good grief. Okay. That's bizarre. 6, no. 6 is in one of 2 places in box 3. Wow, okay. So is it all going to come down to that line? Oh, no. What about this column? 1 and 6 have to go into the column there. So 1 in row... Oh, nearly. 1 in row 6 is in one of 2 places. It'd be lovely if it was on the line, because those would have to add up to 16 and be a 7, 9 pair. which is, I don't know, that might be possible. If that's a 1, that's a 6. And then this would be a 1-5 pair. That would be very useful as well. And on these 2 digits, oh, where's 2 in box? Where's 2 in the middle box? There, 2, 5. 2, 1. There's a 2 over here. 1, 6. Come on. Right, we can get the leftovers at least in box 4. We've got 15 there from 1, 2, 3 and 9, plus a line which must be 17, so that's 32. So these have to add up to 13, and they're either 5, 8 or 6, 7. That's exceptionally annoying. So they're either 8 there, 5 there, or 6, 7 there, or 6, 7 can't go there, so that can't be 6. 6, 8 pair in column 2. All right, let's look at column 2. There's a 1, 2, 5 triple in there, which I'd never seen, the 5 of which is in this top domino. So this isn't 5. But also in this column, we haven't put 4 and 7, and that has to be one of them. So that digit is the same as that digit. And in row 6, what do we need? 1, 5, 6, 7. That digit's 5. That digit's 5 or 7. This one here, it sees 1 and 6. So this is a 1, 6 pair. Now I've got a that's useful. I've now got a 1, 6 pair in column 8. So that digit at the top's a 4. Now, so this has got to have 1, 7 on it, doesn't it? Once it's got 4 on it, it's got to have 1, 7. So this is 1, 2, 5. This is 2 now. We get a 1, 3 pair in the bottom, or box 7. This is now 2. That's useful. That's 2, that's 3, that's 3, that's 1. Come on. That digit ought to be available. That should not be beyond the wit of Simon. That is a 6. That gets a 6 there and a 1 on this line. So these are a 7, 9 pair to add to the 16 that we're looking for. So in column 8 now, what digits have we not put in? 8 and 5? That would be very handy if that's true, because I could put the 8 in. I think that's the 8. 8, 5. Now that's become a 6, so that becomes an 8, 9, 6, 9. These are a 5. Oh, I don't believe it. They're a 5, 8 pair unresolved, apparently. What do we need? Do we need 5 and 4 in row 4? 5 and 4. So this can't be 4. Oh no, it could. Hang on. If it was 4, 7, it would need a 6. This can't be a 4. So that's got to be a 5. That's a 4. And now these 2 digits have to add up to 12. So they can't be a 7, 5. That would repeat the 5. It's got to be 4, 8, 7 here, 5 here, 5 here, 8 here, 8 here, I'm going to claim. This is a 7 or a 9. Somehow these 7s and 9s haven't resolved themselves. But in this column, what do we need there? 4. So 4, 7, and that's going to do it. So 7, 9, 7. Yeah, we've done it. 4, 7, and 9. That is an absolute worldie. I mean, there have been some incredible puzzles this year so far. I mean, not least many of the rat runs by Marty, but that is right up there. That is simply ridiculous. that has been discovered and hewn out of nature is, I just have no idea how you made that, because it's not like once you work out the pattern, you can just fill it in. The complexity, I don't know. It's always hard to know when you're solving a puzzle whether there was a much simpler way. And the comments, obviously, they will reveal it if there was. But I don't think that was the worst solve ever of that. It may be we could have got around the thinking around the 11 pairs, but they did seem, the coordination between those and this box did seem deliberate. That is right. I should check. Yes, it is. Thank goodness for that. Brilliant. Absolutely, and a contender certainly for the puzzle of the year. Brilliant, Nicholas. Loved it. Let me know in the comments how you got on with it. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.